Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa, and we are playing Farming Simulator 19, Oakfield Farm Farming Agency Edition. And bit of a surprise this morning. I thought my office wasn't open on Friday and Monday. It's actually Thursday and Friday this week. So, hey, surprise stream. And we've had a couple of changes. You might notice the money is a little bit lower than it was at the end of last episode. And we need our Valtra. Just because that needs cleaned. Oh well. It's probably going to be used a fair bit more when I get a chance. But right now, it's still harvest time, and this thing has the ugly narrows on, which is why I need the Valtra. Because I need to get the harvester into the field, and unfortunately, you can't drive a header through a hedge. So I need to work on it to get in here. So finished off the first Spelt field. We can already see the first of the weeds growing, because awesome stuff. I guess I will park this over to the side here. So I have this narrow little entrance here. We need to get the header through, and then I need to get the header lined up on the front of this, which may involve driving through the crop. I'm going to investigate the top end of the field, because there is a second entrance, but again, I don't think it's very open. But we shall see. Now this we've got, everything's good enough. I believe the nitrogen is ideal, the pH is a little bit low, but we already harvest once. And good morning somebody. Jono the Farmer, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is even worse. Okay then. So, since last week, I have bought a new harvester. We sold the old one. And I was looking at the various prices on them, and this one seemed the best value for money. It's got a nice sized grain tank. We've gone from a 25 to 35 foot header. So significantly more width will be consumed. I was looking at other harvesters in this range, and most of them only had 25 to 28 foot headers. So yeah, our existing harvester was 25 footer, so we weren't going to get much in the way of better harvest width. And they all came with tanks about the same size as this one, which I think is about 12,000 litres. So I'm kind of happy with this one, and it was also a little bit cheaper than some of the others. I believe it's a slightly older model, hence the price on it. But it should help with making our harvesting a little bit quicker. Obviously, when we have the baler following, it's going to be easier also to get the grain cart down a row to unload this one. So I think all in, we've got a fairly good deal here. Not entirely impressed by the camera default for interior, but since we have a fairly significant tree canopy here, I'm going to be driving in cab between the store most of this time of the year. Once it gets to winter, it's a lot easier because there's no leaves on the trees. But we still have a round of spelt in that top field. We've then got our one canola field for the year is also ready to harvest. Obviously sugar beets and potatoes are going to be a bit later. Sunflowers look like they're coming on quite nicely there. So sunflowers got a couple of months to go. But most of the rest of the stuff after the canola, we don't have anything to harvest till fall. And this guy is a little bit slow, but not much slower than our top speed. I believe the sheep are all fed, so that's one thing we don't have to worry about for the rest of today. Oh, and here we are. Oh, nice. Vehicle dashboard works. So we've got the hazards. Oh, yeah, the lights don't work, just the turn signals. What about the beacon? Beacon works, but there's nothing on the dash to indicate that. So, well, I mean, it's not a bad thing, I guess. We get to see the turn signals flashing underneath the steering wheel there. And I know a lot of farm sim models, they tend not to include the driving lights. I think Black Sheep Modding tends to be quite fastidious in his cabs for his mods. So you do get to see the turn signals, the beacons, the other stuff. Okay, so the plan here, obviously, we'll do 2 headlands again, and I think we should be okay with the extended width on our header now. But also, we'll follow the harvester around with the baler for the central rows. We'll pick those up and sell them, and then as soon as we're done with the harvesting of this field, all the harvesting will run down to that triangular field just over there, which is full of our ready to harvest canola. But I'll be able to put the class on a cultivator and we'll start working these fields as well, getting them ready for next planting, which probably be another fall or winter crop. Although that's not usually how I run this. These 2 fields, technically we should be running a oilseed crop in. Okay, I'm probably going to have to swing this a little bit wide. Like I said, the header does not like hedges, and this is possibly going to entail running all over the crop, potentially. If I turn it that way, I'll turn the drawbar. Come on. Need to turn that a little bit further, and this is It'd probably do better with the JCB on this, but that's good. I think, where did the world go? Ah, here we are. And yep, we do have crawler tracks on the vent, so yay for that. Engine on. Boop. Unfold it, which should give us a little bit more height at the front. And then, come on, go for it, attach. Now I need to jump out, get the vent out the way. So, for the most part, a relatively painless attach there. And obviously once we've harvested this field, this gets a whole lot easier. Alrighty, let's jump into third person. Only 2 cameras on this, default, inside, outside. So unlike the model for our previous harvester, we do not have an auger camera, which is fine by me. Anyway, we'll do two circuits without a swath, and we'll turn on straw swath and get the class following us around making bales, which will be fun, probably. Don't think we have much in the expectation of weather. Probably should check that. Oh, yeah, 3 o'clock this afternoon it's planning to rain. So we've got 5 hours, and with the increased header width, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Our first day it got rained off. We got, I'm guessing, 2/3 of the way in, and then it started raining, and so we had to call the harvest for the day. I think this time, still obviously a question of whether we'll make it all the way around the field, because we have a wider header, so we're chomping through more of the crop as we drive around. Oh, I do have the swath on. Oh well. I am not. I may collect that at the end. But the problem with baling up the headlands is that when it drops bales, they get in the way of a turnaround. Again, I didn't put GPS on this. We're doing it all by eye, dead reckoning. We are 70% full, so again we're not going to make a full circuit on this one. What's that? Oh, I believe that's now a clover field. So all of our top fields, small top fields, are now clover for sheep food and silage sales at the BGA. Don't even know how much. That will be a thing to check on. I was going to say, I don't know how much digestate we have currently down at the BGA, but I might want to be spreading that over these 2 fields before we cultivate them. Anyway, we'll get the Challenger in. I know Farm Sim 22, there's a mod that will destroy straw if you drive over it. Which is, I guess, a fair thing. Okay, let's get around here. And of course this is now going to fill up a lot quicker. We'll probably only get 2 unloads from the harvester. Rather than our 3 and a small amount more. We're about just over 3.5 loads from our previous harvester. But this one, whoops, wrong way. Gonna fill out our truck a lot quicker. Yeah, grief, this unloads slowly as well. I guess we're going to take our time with this. Actually looking down on the main farm there, mostly concealed behind the trees. I can see our little sugar beet and potato pallet maker. We use that for about 30 pallets a year for the sheep food. Using Maize Plus, so sheep feeding is a little bit more complex than just hay or grass. How much? Oops, wrong one. We are up to over half full, but we did have 6,000 litres in there before we started, so 17,000. This trailer has 30,000 litre capacity. Yeah, I think we're... Takeoff 6 is 13. Okay. Yeah, we will definitely have enough room to unload the harvester twice. But maybe not significantly more than that. And obviously the other nice thing about this purchase is that we still have 180,000 cash left over. So it hasn't made us totally broke. You can see over there. There's a little bit of spelt in that field, and part of the reason for that is this hedge doesn't form an impediment for the cedar. And when I left a worker to plant this field, they went through the hedge here and then started planting the grass field because I was using a direct seeder. So it rips up what's there and replaces it with something else. That's the risk of using a direct seeder. If you just use a standard seeder that needs cultivating first, you can't plant over a field that's already been planted if it's not ready to plant, cultivated or ploughed. But you use a direct seeder and you can plant a field and then you can go back into that field and just plant it with something else, and the direct seeder will just rip up what's there and replace it. Another problem I have with that light green field on the left and the big field opposite us, which we just finished harvesting, there's a point there where equipment will drive through the hedge and be an issue. So I keep forgetting, but I've got to be careful when I'm doing that sort of thing to make sure that I do edge the field with whatever task I'm doing so that the worker will stop because I'm replanting the same crop. So when I cultivate this field, we will start on that side and do the edge and then let the worker loose, and the same again on that field. We'll start on that side, do the edge, and that will limit the worker from running out of the field into the next field over. Anyway, we're now on our second headland and we are almost full. Don't think there's enough room to do U-turn with the Challenger. And that will be it. So there's a 12,500 capacity there, which isn't too bad. Oops, engine on. And we will get it mostly cleared, I think. See if we can make this. Oh. Don't drive on the crop, don't drive on the crop, don't drive on the crop. Yes! I'm not sure what mod I'm running, but we are definitely struggling with the weight of what's being towed and the steepness of the hills that the field is on. I get up here and this is fairly much of a coast. Okay, so I think since I'm in the Challenger, we'll just top this off, run down to the yard and empty it. Ooh, just don't do that. But there won't be a lot left in the harvester, so we'll be able to go round. Actually, I could probably come back, empty the harvester, and that'll give us 2 full dumps before this needs emptied again. One thing we can check on briefly is our first field. We had 224,000 litres of spelt out of that first field. This field is extra. That's a bit more. What are we doing? Tip side back 13. Do tip side grain door so we don't foul the roof over the silo. Okay, this should be good. We are done. Let's run this back to the yard. We still should close that gate. And again, with this amount of weight, definitely coasting down. Little bit of braking so we don't end up driving through the hedges like that. So I would like another tractor and a grain cart. Obviously not as easy a thing. On Farm Sim 22, definite consideration for another tractor and cart, because it would allow me to set a worker on to unload into my silo, and then I could carry on harvesting the field, because at the moment we're doing the headland. That's not something the worker can do, and so that requires my personal attention. Now obviously once the headland's done, it's not so much of a big deal to set a worker off on doing the rows while I run back to the yard with the grain cart. And I mean the other thing is the yard isn't that far away from these fields, so it doesn't take too long doing this run. Now when we get down to our other main area of arable fields at the moment, that does take a while to run back to the yard, and so having 2 carting vehicles to do that does help. But like I said, no helper on travel or unload. So Farm Sim 22 will be a little bit more convenient for doing this then. There are a lot of nice features in Farm Sim 22 which allow you to get on with stuff. Backwards to this one. So again, not very full. And